Stories in today's video. 1. Update. My boyfriend of 4 years called me boring and many other problems. An update 2 years on. 2. Update. My 20F friend, 21F, is going to great lengths to prove that my boyfriend, 24 meters, is cheating even though I know he isn't. 3. Update. Apparently, I'm 26F, too perfect for someone like him, 28M. Was this the best shutdown ever, or is he really that insecure? Original post. So my original post is years old now, and I wouldn't say it was that popular, but I was looking at my post history and can't believe I posted that. It seems like a lifetime ago. TLDR of original post. My BF was a man-child who hardly worked and expected me to cook for him, drive him around and stay awake to watch his endlessly boring life from the sidelines. I refused to accept the fact I needed to grow up and leave him. I was completely oblivious to all the problems in our relationship, and I refused to leave Tom even though it was very clearly the right thing to do. I broke up with him maybe 6 months after I posted, but we got back together even though I was moving to another country to teach English for a few months. While I was away, he hardly ever spoke to me, never asked me how I was, and grew increasingly disrespectful to me. I came back home early because I felt bad leaving him for so long. We had plans to move overseas together, but he was getting cold feet saying he didn't want to leave his best friend. I broke up with him again and decided to move overseas by myself. It was terrifying to be alone after being with Tom for so long, but it was 100% the right decision. Turns out he had started sleeping with his best friend while I was overseas teaching English. Also turns out I'm a lesbian, so there's that. Tom still lives at my dad's place and works the same job. I've just bought my first flat and I'm having a wonderful time living overseas and being truly independent. I have grown so much in the last few years and done things I could never imagine doing while I was stuck in a dead-end relationship. I know now that being alone is so much better than being with someone who doesn't love you. Original post. So I posted a few days ago about my housemate Emily, who had made it her life's mission to try and make me see that my long-distance boyfriend, Sam, was cheating on me. After posting my original post, I sat Emily down and told her that I would not be engaging in conversation with her about Sam at all. She tried to claim it was all in my best interests to listen to her, but did rein it in. Drama over. Until it all blew up. I got a very angry message yesterday from Emily's boyfriend calling me every name under the sun, including a homewrecker. I asked him what the hell was going on, and he said that he knew all about how I'd been cheating on Sam and how I'd convinced Emily to do the same to him. It turns out he'd found out that Emily was on Tinder and was talking to guys, and had even met up with a couple and done whatever. I had no clue she was doing this. Whenever she left the house for the night, she always said she was staying at her boyfriend's. I told him in no uncertain terms that I had not encouraged Emily to cheat on him, and I was not cheating on Sam. He then tried to claim that Emily had told him that I was away getting with some Tinder guy on a specific evening that I wasn't in the flat. I was celebrating Sam's birthday with him in his city, and had the timed and dated photos to prove it, and of course Emily knew where I really was. I have no clue whether or not her boyfriend believes me, but I haven't had any other messages from him since. Emily was wailing my door about 10 minutes later, saying that her ex-boyfriend had gone insane and she only cheated because he was abusive. I can't say I saw anything, but I also can't say this was a definite lie, and she was scared about his reaction, so she said I was involved. She then said that I would understand her position if I had broken up with Sam like she wanted me to. I'll admit, that got my attention. I asked what she meant, and she said that she had wanted us both to be free from our partners, but she knew I wouldn't cheat on Sam, so had tried her best to convince me that he was cheating so I would leave him. She got the door slammed in her face. Even if she did want an escape from her own abusive relationship, her non-stop attempts to persuade me to leave my boyfriend just for her own gain is enough for me to just cut her off. I didn't even wait until Emily woke up this morning to put my plan to move out into action. The landlord has been contacted and is very understanding. We're very close to the end of our tenancy anyway, so I'm breaking my lease, and I'm going to spend the night in a friend's spare room before making my next move. I might write her a goodbye note, but she hardly deserves it. I've been wondering for a while whether or not I should move to be with Sam. I think this is now going to be a big part of my decision. Also, a lot of comments in the original post were suggesting that something had happened between Sam and Emily while he was still living in this area, and she was trying to make me see that without coming clean. I didn't reply to any comments because I know the sorts of responses I would have got to, I know he's not cheated on me with Emily, but I do know he didn't. He never contacted Emily privately, and was really only friendly to her because she was my housemate. Sam was just as unlikely to cheat with Emily as I was with any of his friends, family or housemates. I know some of you may still think that he could still have cheat in the future, and I can't definitively say he won't, but I'm not going to ruin my relationship with what-if style thoughts. TLDR, housemate who was trying to prove to me that my boyfriend was cheating was actually cheating on her boyfriend and wanted me to join in by convincing me to dump my boyfriend. Found out from her boyfriend, who had been told that I was the one telling her to cheat on him. I wasn't. I wasn't going to bother linking the original post, but I guess I have to. It only attracted the attention of 2 people, one of them probably has a lot of throwaways judging by my karma. Still, it's a happy ending and a teachable moment I would love to share with the world. In a nutshell, I met a guy the first liked, found out there was an incident involving him, ran away cause I lost a close friend to a similar situation and that was too much for me to handle. A year or so later I looked him up to see if he even survived, we got back in touch and became friends. Over the years I caught feelings, he started yet another relationship. He went through a hard time and crashed at my place. We kept living together, he got better emotionally and started showering me with affection. Then I got hit by a drunk diver and got off with no complication and very easy recovery, compared to what could have been in that particular situation. While I was in the hospital he told me the incident left him disfigured. He fixed that, it's barely noticeable, you literally have to know about the remaining scar to see it, but he can't stop seeing himself that way. Once I left the hospital, those tiny signs of affection got progressively bigger, to the point there wasn't a moment without physical contact. One night we were cuddled up on the couch and I went for the kiss, he shut me down by saying I'm too perfect to be wasted on someone like him. The actual update: the next day I went to work, he pretended last night never happened, I was freaking out cause I wanted to have the talk but didn't want to push it. Had the talk anyway and now we're together. We opened up about a lot of things. He had no idea why I ran away when I found out about the incident. He thought I knew about his injuries and didn't want him like that. I haven't spoken about my friend with anyone but a therapist, I finally told him and he understood. He said he was jumping from relationship to numb his feeling for me cause he thought I would never be able to love him back. The night I tried to make the move, it was the kiss itself that freaked him out. Turns out that S*XY cheeky slightly crooked smile is nerve damage and an ex told him he's the worst kisser in the world. He's not. He's also brilliant in bed. In that one night we became closer than in the past 7 years. And I told him acting like my housewife, babysitter won't fly no more, and he toned it down, but he still pampers me to an extent. Right now we're like teenagers, glued at the lips, making up for lost time. He was my best friend for so long and I know he's the one for me. This felt like a relationship for months before it even started, now I got the good stuff on top of the perfect partnership we already had. So people, talk to your loved ones FFS. We wasted years beating around the bush, learn from our mistakes. TLDR: communication is vital. Don't be like us, talk to the people you love, no matter how hard it is. Yes, he was that insecure. We're together now and we're making up for lost time.